Now let's go ahead and add two text inputs and a button to our add component. So go to your add component HTML. Let's add a div and give class of row. And before this, let's go to our main component and wrap these two components within a div and give it a class of container fluid, which is a bootstrap class. Okay, and within the add component, let's add a div and give a class of column, let's say about 3 columns. And let's add a label. Call it company name. Let's give an input. Type text. Let's give a placeholder and say enter company name. Let's copy that and give description. And finally, let's add a button. Right. And give it a class of button success to give it a green color. Okay, all looks good. Let's say all our files. Great. So we have our add component right here. Let's also give a form control to the text input. Save it. Cool. Okay. And now let's make use of ngModel to capture the values that user enters in these text inputs. To do that, let's create an Angular attribute called ngModel and assign a variable called company name. So this is a variable which goes within double quotes. Everything that we assign to attribute in HTML, to the HTML elements in Angular, would be functions or variables. They are not static strings that we assign. Alright, so in a similar way, let's assign company description as well. Okay, and let's define these two variables within TypeScript of the component. Let's initialize them as empty values. Okay, Save all your files. Oops, there seems to be an error. Let's see what it is. So it says cars can't bind to ngModel since it isn't a known property, which means that Angular is not able to recognize what ngModel is. ngModel basically belongs to a module called form modules, which we haven't imported yet in our application. To do that, let's go to the app module, and within imports, import forms module right here. It automatically imports it from the forms. Okay, now save your file. There you go. This works fine now. ngModel is basically used for two-way binding. So instead of acquiring the value of the text input, we are basically assigning a variable to the text input, which can be used elsewhere as well. To demonstrate that, let's quickly print the values that we type. So as and when we type, the values will get printed right here. So let's go to the add component. Let's add company name and assign the company name variable. Similarly, let's assign company description as well. So let's save it. So as you can see, as and when we type, the values are stored in those variables, and those variables can be used as and when we need them. Okay. So that's how ngModel works. So in the next one, let's see how we can dispatch those two values to the outer component when we click on the add button using output. Stay tuned and subscribe. Cheers.